play with it. I like the way you use it. I like that you don't play fair. Recipe for disaster. But I'm just trying to take my time. Stroke is getting deep and faster. Screaming like I'm out of line. Who can make sweet love? Not me. Who can make kiss and love? Not me. Who can be? Spoken Thought segment again. That's for mothers out there. Again, I say mothers. The mother to God's children. And never look to have a child for a man. Have a child for God. Never. Man will disappoint you until man understands what's greater than a man is a gentleman. You have to understand what was going to make a better father, a man over a gentleman. God ain't going to accept man in heaven. So a man need to start trying to be a man and be a gentleman. That's what God is going to accept. And you shouldn't accept anything less than what God would accept. You are a goddess on earth. You give us life just as God gives us life. In heaven, you give it to us on earth. God uses you to bring us to earth. We are descending angels. All men are descending angels to walk amongst us on earth as males, boys, men, gentlemen. Only return to heaven as a gentleman. You gave birth to God's child, any child of God. Any child is God's child. And the son of God is an angel. The daughter of God is a goddess. Understand what you gave birth to. We are descending goddesses and angels walking amongst us on earth. And man, right now, they're ready to put their laws before God's child. Guns before God's child. The ignorance of man. The false god of man. The false god, the Bible. If it ain't protecting God's child, what good of it is it? Seriously, why do you even use it? What good? It gets you closer. I'm not saying all religion is bad. It gets you closer, opens your mind, but don't just believe everything in it. Believe what you think and what you sense. And when you sense something ain't the truth, ask yourself. Think about it. Because when you're thinking about it, again, you're having a conversation with God. Keep it positive. That is your job, to keep it positive. When you keep it positive, then Jesus and God will speak to you. And I really believe it's Jesus. God ain't wasting his time outside of here. It's up to us to earn our way back in heaven. We got to follow the chain of command. And it starts on earth first. I put a woman before me, a lady. I won't even turn around and face a woman. I am man on earth first. Yes, I am man on earth first. My job is to clear that path, make it safe, build a house. And any woman that comes into my life will make my house into a home. I expect that of her. But I know my job. I know my purpose is to provide for her, to protect her, and to parent any child of God, regardless if it's a child of mine on earth. But I know it's a child of God is in heaven. And I know she was a mother way before I became a father. Way before I became a father. 10 months before I became a father. I did not become a father until that child hit earth. And I am nothing but a babysitter of God's children. My child, that he chose to use my seed, and any other child. They all have the Spirit of God. That's what I sure believe in. And I'm asking all the mothers, I know the woman is mixed up. You letting that man chase you and you doing everything to attract that man. Don't. You can date that man. Find the best man that fits the man in you. God gave you enough man in you that you should never need, want, or ask for one. Should never need, want, or ask for one. It's disrespectful to ask God for something he already gave you. Believe in the man that you have within yourself. And the day you let a man think you need him, how does he treat you? And you know, at the end of the day, how do you want to be treated? Tough or gentle? That is the truth. Take your time and understand the truth. The truth will truly set you free. Believe in the goddess that you have within yourself. And when you believe in that goddess, that then, and only then, that will allow you to to know who you are. God, until we see you as a goddess on earth, God said, do on the earth as you would do in the heaven. Do on the earth as you would do in the heaven. And when you do on the earth and respect the goddess, Jesus then, and only then, he'll allow you to bow down to his God in heaven. It's his God in heaven, his Father in heaven. It ain't ours until we make it through heaven's gate. And we have to go through God, Jesus, to get to God, the chain of command. But before we even do that, we have to respect the goddess on earth. And Jesus is watching us. And moms, all the mothers out there, when God is inside you, you have direct communication with God. I ask you of this, for your child and God's child. We know you want that child to be beautiful. We know you want that child to be healthy. That's natural, I know that. You're going through an apprenticeship with God. He's inside you to teaching you and giving you the courage and understanding that you have everything you need to take care of that child within you, that naturalness, that nurture. You're going to nurture that child. That child is eating from your flesh as the female. It's living inside the womb of a woman, the womb, believing within you. And while you're believing in that and listening, asking God, ask him this. Give your child the wisdom, the intelligence to know the difference between right and wrong, societies and heavenlies, to do what he needs, that he chooses to do best for his true Father in heaven. Because if a man chooses not to be that father, God did not give you man in you to carry the burden of a man around. God gave man in you to believe in the man within you, that you have enough man to do what needs to be done, that man should be providing for you. A man's purpose that you give him is to provide for you, not as a wife. If a man only think he's supposed to marry you and provide for you, then they marketalize a gift that God gave you. A man needs to learn how to provide for any lady that comes in his life, because the heaven on earth is between the legs of a goddess. Between the legs of God, and if you give it to him as a woman and he accepts it as a man, that becomes a forbidden fruit. That is the nut that the God is going to accept from you. And all men wants to fuck. You can lie to yourself. You can try to take a man's fucking and turn it 11, and that's an empty nut. How's this been turning out for you? There's nothing wrong with the child, even if that child was born underneath a fuck nut. Nothing gonna be wrong with the child. God don't make nothing bad. What's gonna be bad is the relationship. You did not use your matureness. And every female is more mature than any male in any perspective, 5, 10, 15, 20. Doesn't matter what age. She has that mental and emotional capacity, ability. That's something got part of her gift is creation. She creates in emotions. And she's a very mental, emotional creature, very mature. Understand that and believe in that. Not just because I'm saying it, you know it. What God knows, what you think and what you sense is the truth. If you deny that, ignore that, you're not ignoring me. You're ignoring God. Understand that. I'm just trying to set your mind free. Tell you, empower your thoughts to know that your thoughts come from God. Believe in your thoughts. Man, what's greater than a man? It's when we learn how to process on a mental and emotional level on how we physically feel. And then we choose to give a creature that. True strength is to let go that what we think that makes us strong and trusting somebody else with it. Because before we can trust God, man, woman, and child, God may stick us on earth first. We may be first on earth, but we are third in heaven. And heaven is destruction, because what comes after the child is God. God, anytime he grab his child, he can grab a lady goddess, a lady on earth, a goddess, and really a mother to God's child, and a goddess in heaven. You see the position of man? Man is not allowed in heaven, but if he turns around, he becomes a gentleman on earth, because a gentleman knows he has to bow to something greater than himself. He has to be something before his man, and that's the gentleness in him. That gentleness is him, is the mentalness in him. That's when he becomes mentally aware and emotionally sound and say, you know what? I know the physicalness of a man is not the greatest thing I am. I know the mentalness and emotionalness and me understanding that and respecting something greater than me, that I'm supposed to support it provide for it, protect it, and its offspring, God's offspring, her and God's offspring. That's what's greater than me. And when I provide for that and do that, then I have earned my way back into heaven. Understand that. But again, mothers, until that man realizes that and chooses to be a father, ask yourself, what would make a better father? A man or a gentleman? A man can do what he wants in the street, wherever, hang out alone. A gentleman knows that's not respectful. A father can't do that because he has other responsibilities. Those are the simple ones. A boy can become a father, bypassing being a man. So young. He got a young girl pregnant. Now he's a father, and she's a mother. She's going to be propelled. They both going to bypass being a woman and a man. They will be going to become ready. A boy will become a father, and a girl will become a mother. But their behaviors will emulate, if they be responsible for their mother and their fathership, will emulate a lady and a gentleman. A period. Sooner or later, you're going to have to go with the man in you and a woman in you. A man and a woman is a waste of time in any aspect. When we go through our trials and tribulations, we learn from them. What are you learning from yours? Why are you going to keep on? To live in your man and woman stage is insane. To go through the same thing over and over again. To be conscious of who you are. People don't understand the 3 levels of consciousness. Your unconsciousness is when God is speaking directly to you. You're unaware of that. Your subconscious is trying to make the difference between your unconscious and your conscious. Your conscious, what you do in reality and society that everybody's saying you have to control, and this is controlled by the programming of society on how you're supposed to behave and act. Unconsciously, you know that's not proper all the time, and you fight it within your subconscious. Your subconscious is your soul. Your conscious is your physical. Your unconscious is your spirit. You're unaware of your spirit. A whisper from God comes in the form of a thought. Are you aware that your thoughts are coming from Jesus and God? The only thing you need to do for any problem that you have in society, they will not lead you wrong, but you got to believe in God, and you got to believe in Jesus, and you got to believe in your thoughts. Fuck a Bible. A Bible is written the word of man. And sometimes when man wrote their words, really, did they write it in the favor of God or man? Church is built around man, when we should be bowing to a goddess on earth that she has a closer relationship. Ask yourself that. Think about it. Who is closer? Think about it. Them are another segments that I cannot even get in this one. My heart and my plea goes out to all the mothers. Stop carrying the burden of men and trying to make him be a father. And stop trying to make him be a man. What he needs to choose to be, and he has to choose to be, is to be that gentleman and admit to the things that he has done wrong. You cannot make him do that. He cannot make you be a lady. Choose to be a lady. That's something you know you got to choose to be. That means you got to choose to let go of that man in you. I understand a guarded woman. A guarded woman is guarding the lady in her because she's afraid to let go of the man in her, because she hasn't found nothing worthy of her truly on a mental and emotional level. Physically, who cares? That's the least important about a human being. But the mental and emotional, that there, when she feels fulfilled in that and can trust something that concern themselves about that, and that's not a man. That is not a man. That is a gentleman. A man never show you that capacity. And if he is, that's not a man. That's a gentleman. And don't disrespect it, acting like a woman. And make him go back into his man stage. Then he become a guarded man that will not let his G out in him. We are both guarded. That's why we're afraid to come out of our man stage or our woman stage. We're afraid we're guarded of each other, but we keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Carrying our problems from one relationship to the next. Living them over and over again. The question you have to ask yourself, when are you to stop living like that? When When do you give up? That's the part you need to ask yourself. That is not right to live in the same life and keep doing that. So the question to all mothers, are you going to live in that woman stage and protect your child, yours and God's? Or are you going to chase around that man and burden yourself with the ignorance of a man, the immatureness of a man, trying to make him be a good man? Any good man or great man is not a man. And stop disrespecting that gentleman by saying good man. Call him what it is. Change your words, you change your outcome. He's a gentleman. That is his final butterfly stage. That's the only thing. God don't know what a good man is. God won't let man in heaven. He won't even let the man of the gentleman in heaven. He only let the gentleness. That's all a man can take to heaven is the gentleness in him from earth. That's if he achieves it. That's if he achieves it. If he doesn't achieve it, he will not go through heaven's gate. He will live in purgatory and relive it again and again. That's the same with a woman. That's the same with a woman. And especially if you give birth to God's child, you're not going to go to heaven as a woman mother. Okay? A woman mother, a woman on earth, a mother to God's child, and a goddess in heaven, a woman goddess. No, even if you never become and give birth to God's child. And even though you're a woman on earth, you still got to become that lady. But you're a goddess. You're a daughter of God's child, even though it wasn't meant for you to have a child. Any child that comes in your aura, you babysit that child as if it's yours. Because it's not, it's God's. That's all we doing is babysitting all God's children. My child is God's child. Even if a woman never give birth to a child, you are still a goddess, and God gave you the gift. Give you a lemon, you can make lemonade. You give it a house, you can make a home. Give you a seed, even though you cannot create a child. Okay? You still have the essence to care for a child and nurture a child. God gave you that ability. You give man purpose. You have a blessed evening. That's a message to all mothers.